the shitty health luck continues to get shittier for the Sixers. And that, of course, popped up again on Thursday because right when it started to seem like things are getting better, you're seeing some film from in the gym of, Joel Embiid looking svelte. You're seeing Paul George, not on crutches. You're starting to see things that look good. Tim Bontemps had to put out this report, and this kind of broke Sixers Twitter yesterday. Philadelphia 76ers guard Jared McCain suffered a UCL tear in his right thumb during a workout. Sources told ESPN. He and the team are working with specialists to decide how they will proceed, sources said. Philadelphia is set to hold media day on Friday. So just when things started looking good, just when things started looking up a little bit, oh, good. The Sixers, who typically are the walking wounded, maybe things are finally turning around for them. Their fortunes are starting to turn around. A nice young core that you can believe in, a nice young core you can get excited by. Maybe this will be the year that the Sixers are able to pull the nose up on everything and things are going to be hunky-dory. Nay. No, if you had that kind of hope in your heart, I got bad news for you. No. So Jared McCain is out. And I saw somebody kind of floating out the idea yesterday that the last few players in the NBA who had a similar injury missed about 50-something days, or it was like 20-ish games or so. So not ideal. It's not a great thing. And Jared McCain, who lost a good chunk of his rookie year, which was a solid one, due to a meniscus tear, now he's out. But things actually, in a way, got worse yesterday because Brian Windhorst showed up on ESPN, and he dropped a little bit of a bombshell before Media Day. Media Day was on Friday, but Windhorst came out on NBA Today on Thursday, and he preached a lot of caution about what we were seeing from videos from the team about Joel Embiid and the perceived health of Joel Embiid. And so we're going to go out here to Windy really quick because this is bad, very bad. I'm going to warn you ahead of time that if you haven't seen this video, it is probably going to incense you. Here we go. So here's Brian Windhorst on Thursday talking about the health of Joel Embiid.
Yeah, so I know that there's going to be a big focus of when Joel Embiid is going to be able to play. And I'm not...
Shocker. People want to know if the franchise player is going to play. Okay.
I'm not sure that you're going to get a firm answer on that tomorrow or even in the near future. What I think the 76ers want is not...
Spoiler alert, he's very right. Because we did not get a clear and definitive timeline or answer on Joel Embiid's health or the timeline on Media Day. All right, back to Windy.
Not so much about when he can start playing. It's about when he does begin playing, keeping him sustainably on the court.
Yeah.
Because he...
All right, and we have to bail on it because if I keep that up for much longer, I'm sure YouTube or somebody's going to flag that there was a little video there. So Brian Windhorst drops this little bit of news and notes on Thursday. Don't expect a specific timeline on Joel Embiid. Okay, not great, but we did know that Media Day was going to be coming. And so we knew that Joel Embiid was going to speak to the media. And I want you to listen to Joel Embiid today and talking about his health and how he's feeling. And then tell me if you feel better about Joel Embiid than you did maybe like 2 or 3 days ago when we saw the film from behind the scenes released by the team of him presumably playing in a scrimmage or something, setting up, I think it was Tyrese Maxey. It might have been VJ Edgecombe. There's a clip going around of Embiid with a bounce pass to one of the guards, going up, completing a nice little finish at the rim, and you started to think, oh, Embiid must be scrimmaging with the team. Good sign. No, not as it appears. Here we go. Here's Joel Embiid today talking about his health.
Feeling, and when are you going to be playing? Whether you're going to play in training camp or start for the season, what's going on with your health?
Feel pretty good. I think we made a lot of progress over the last...
I feel pretty good. That's not trending in a great... We've made a lot of progress, also not inspiring confidence.
Last couple of months, we got a plan in place.
We have a plan in place. Didn't we hear about a plan last year? Didn't we hear about a plan going into training camp last year? Didn't Daryl Morey kind of like hide in a corner away from the media and send Nick Nurse out to take the strays from the media about the plan? There's a plan. We're on track with the plan. The plan was never detailed to anyone. The plan was never explained to anyone. Okay, fuck. We're back to this again.
I'm trying to check all the boxes. So, just taking it by...
There's a plan and we're checking the boxes. Again, this is not inspiring confidence if you're like, oh, Joel Embiid. If you thought this was going to be like, hey, Joel, You think you're going to play in training camp preseason? Like, how you feeling? And if you were going to be like, oh yeah, you know what, feeling real good about my progress. We think that I'm going to play the regular season. We're ramping up, going to play, start the season. Trust the process. If you thought you were going to get that, you didn't get that. Back to Joel.
Day. This is still, kind of like a fill period where we just, taking it day by day, keep getting stronger, keep getting better. There's been a few core sessions, so everything is, on schedule. So
taking it day by day, everything's on schedule. I'm dying on the inside.
But I think, with the team, following whatever we have planned, I think, there's not necessarily an expectation.
There's no expectation. Oh, that's good. Because if you set the expectation low, you can never be disappointed. Okay.
All about making sure everything is right and doing everything right. And, and then go from there.
There's an Adam Sandler song that some of you might remember where he says, "Somebody kill me, please." That's everybody who's a Sixers fan, and only a Sixers fan maybe doesn't root for the Eagles or the Phillies or the Flyers. They're only a Sixers fan, and their entire existence as a sports fan is tied directly to the outcome of Sixers games and Sixers-related activities. That's what those people must feel like right now. Okay, so Embiid tells you that things are on track. They have boxes they're trying to check. There's a plan in place. I'm not going to fault Joel Embiid. We've talked about this. You can't rush your body to recover, to feel better, right? It doesn't happen. You can't do it. I'm not going to fault the human being for being injured. But I might fault the messaging that has happened to this point. I'm going to get there in a second. Because before I do, I have to go out to somebody who has been absolutely insufferable, whose existence as an executive in this city, the fact that he still remains in the position of power that he does, makes me ill. And that is Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey met with the media, along with Nick Nurse. And Daryl Morey gave another answer that is going to, if your blood pressure is here, right? Like maybe when you first came onto the show, you're like, oh, the Russ Joy Show, we're going to be a little bit happy, we're going to enjoy, we're going to have a little bit of joy in our lives. And you maybe even lowered your blood pressure. And then I slowly had to build you up because of what's going on with Embiid and the fact that there's a plan in place, but we don't actually know what the plan is, and it doesn't sound very promising. Daryl Morey is going to break the top of the thermometer. All right, let's go. I know that has nothing to do with blood pressure. I don't care. He's going to break the meter. The cuff is going to pop off your arm. Here's Daryl Morey. This was a follow-up after Embiid had already spoken to the media, after Daryl Morey had time to assess what Joel Embiid had to say, and after Daryl Morey had the ability, because he's very online, to see how the fans reacted to Joel Embiid's notes about his recovery. This is the best Daryl Morey could do with Nick Nurse sitting next to him. Here's Daryl Morey on Joel Embiid and Paul George. You might remember he also plays here sometimes.
Yeah, I think I think you heard it from them, and this is, straight from the doctors. We're not getting into the expectations game. The doctors.
We're not getting into the expectations game. I want to re-rack that a second, because I don't know if you know this or not, but typically when a player is injured, you typically come up with a timetable for their return. Like that's usually happens.
The expectations game.
Okay.
The doctor's advice, how what Joel said on listening to his body, which is a big component, and how doctors manage injuries. That's going to be what carries the day this year.
What?
And this is, straight from the doctors. We're not getting into the expectations game.
We're not going to get into the expectations game. We're going to, according to the doctors, we're going to listen to Joel and I guess Paul George, they're going to listen to their bodies.
We're going to listen to their bodies. We're going to be taken away to a magical place where we listen to the bodies. We listen. Joel says, oh, my knee's feeling not so great. I'm not going to play today. Okay, well, that makes sense. Oh, Paul George says, oh, my knee still hurts me. I can't play for the next 3 weeks. That's what my body's telling me. Okay, we're going to listen to that too.
You can't. How are we doing this again? How are we doing this again? I'm going to tell you why I'm angry. You know why I'm angry. You know why I feel misled. You know why a lot of Sixers fans feel misled. This isn't the shit we've been seeing, especially in recent days. I mean, Sixers did a really nice rollout, right? The black jerseys, we talked about it. It was lovely. It was great. The Sixers have been dropping video, images, making you feel like Joel Embiid is close to being back. You don't believe me? You have questions about the messaging the Sixers have put out there publicly? Let me just take you back to September 23rd. That happened to be this week. Let me just take you back to the Sixers' own marketing on Twitter. This came out on the 23rd. All right, so they got VJ Edgecombe playing a little defense. We love to see that. Joel Embiid bounced past Tyrese Maxey. I was right. Now, I don't know about you,
but I'm feeling 22 games is the most that Embiid will play next to you. You don't know about PG, but I bet you want to. He'll play like 12 or 20 games. Maybe combined they'll just play 22. Ooh, ha ha ha. 22. Ooh. Talking about injuries. It'll be the whole team talking about injuries. I hope it's not Maxey talking about injuries. It looks like bad news. It looks like bad news gonna happen to you!
Paul George! Paul George! Lifting a few days ago! The shirt's off! The towel's around the neck! He's doing the kettlebells! Does he look injured to you? Does it look like they're trying to say, patience is a virtue? Paul George is listening to his body. No! Again, this is what the Sixers put out 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Joel Embiid on the court. We see a blue team and a gray team. Presumably, this is a half-court drill. Could it be a scrimmage? Don't know. Is it just a regular drill? Maybe. But Joel Embiid looks like he's on the court. Paul George is lifting. And then on media day, 3 days later, we are told there's no timeline for Joel Embiid. There's no timeline for Paul George. Nay. We're just going to listen to their bodies. Their bodies are going to tell us how they're doing.